If you have a pattern of not walking away at the first sign of a man not valuing you at the level that you know your worth, this is for you. Those men are basically basing your worth off the value that they give you. Whatever value that they perceive you to have, they're going to treat you according to that, not according to what you feel you're worth. So when you think about it like that, realize it's not really about who you are, it's about who they decided you are, but the discounted version. So you have to look at men like this as not being able to afford you. They're trying to bargain your worth. It's not that they don't see your full worth either. Men like this usually do know your worth. They're just choosing to be blind to it because they'd rather dominate you and bring you down to their level than honor your true value. Valuing a woman to them is to be weak. So they'd rather control you because they believe that's what being a man is. It's toxic masculinity at its finest. Trying to overextend yourself and jump through hoops to prove your worth to men like this is really you deciding that, hey, I can be what you believe my value is. Just tell me what I gotta do for you to want me. You can't believe that they know more about your worth than you do. Let men like this reject you for not lowering yourself to their level because you're really not missing out on a thing. You have to choose yourself in these situations, even if it's ticking in you to move in closer and change their minds about your value because you have abandonment wounds and an anxious attachment. Or maybe he love bombed you and pretended to be a good guy in the beginning. Either way, once a man decides what you're worth, there's no changing that. And to try to do so is essentially lowering your value. Thus, he wins. Don't let men like this manipulate you. If anyone is wondering where I'm reading from, that is something I wrote that is currently on my Instagram account. I've been that girl too, and it is coming to a new book soon called This Is For You that I plan to have out in the next month or so. So let's get into this podcast episode more. I've been coaching for about 5 years or so now, and something that I consistently see are women that know their worth, but it's like once they get with a man and that man doesn't treat them according to their worth, it's like they forget it. They then get in this role to where they feel like they have to prove their worth and prove themselves. And it's a number of things going on here. I feel like majority of the time you do know your worth. It's just that once you get with a man that acts as if he doesn't, it confuses you. So if you have a habit of not walking away at the first sign of a man not valuing you, that's not about the man. That's about you trying to prove your worth. That's you trying to earn value in someone else's eyes versus your own. That's you still needing validation of your worth. You can know it on your own, but for some reason you have difficulty trusting it. And some examples of what this may look like: you find yourself explaining your needs over and over again. You downplay how his inconsistency really bothers you. Or you keep giving him chance after chance even after he's shown you that he doesn't prioritize you. You're not standing in your worth at that point, you're negotiating it. So here are some root causes of why you may be doing this, why you may know your worth in your solitude, but once you get with a man that acts as if he doesn't, then you don't know what to do with that. One root cause could be that you were conditioned to prove your worth instead of just being worthy. Number two root cause: you watch the women around you settle or stay quiet to keep a man. Number three, somewhere deep down, you may still have this belief that love has to be earned. And you may even believe that love has to be earned through suffering, meaning that maybe you feel you can get to the good part of a relationship after you've gone through hell with someone and you suffered with someone, and now finally you're at the good part of the relationship because you've been through all that. You can say you know your worth, but the way you act when a man doesn't see it tells the truth. And I know it can hurt when that man doesn't see your worth like you see your worth, but the real damage comes when you start agreeing with him. And so really what I feel is going on here, because I've been this girl as well. I used to know my worth like in my solitude and alone, but it's like when I got with a man, I forgot my worth. And majority of the time those men will love bomb you and have you thinking that they really want you and all of that, and you fall for it. And so in the beginning, it's not a matter of if you're worthy of him or not. It's more so like you're just hooked because this man is hooked on you. And so I feel like for women like us that really know our worth but maybe don't know it when it comes to dating, I think it has a lot to do with how we were conditioned and how we were raised. Many of us were not taught about boys, sex, love, romance, nothing like that. Many of us were just told, don't have sex, don't get pregnant, and we were shamed for having boy crushes. We were told not to have a crush on the boy, don't like boys. And so we were left to fend for ourselves basically. And some of us snuck around when we were younger and didn't know what we were doing when we were dating. And then some of us waited till we were older, trying to respect our parents. We waited till we got older in our 20s and we were free to date. And then we didn't have any idea about what we were doing. It's like a small part of us did know our worth, but we didn't know how that translated over to someone else not seeing our worth. Like, what happens when that man doesn't see our worth? Do we just walk away, or do we prove what we know about ourselves? And so you can't really fault yourself for not understanding how this works. You have to extend some grace to yourself because of how you were conditioned. I too had a lot of the same issues in my 20s when I was dating. I knew my worth, and that's why I feel like I was trying to prove my worth, because I knew that I was worthy. But no one taught me that I wasn't supposed to do that. I had to learn the hard way. So I'm going to go over some tips to help you get your mind right regarding this and help you break the pattern. So my first tip is you have to know the difference between knowing your worth and how someone treats you. Your worth is something that is constant. It's something that just stands on its own. How someone treats you is not. A man seeing less in you does not mean that there is less in you. So what can help here is affirming yourself. Remind yourself that I don't have to convince any man of my worth. My value doesn't drop just because a man can't afford it. If he can't see me, that's his limitation, not mine. Number 2, set a non-negotiable exit point. So you have to figure out, where is your bare minimum line? What are your non-negotiables? When does it click for you in your head that he can't meet you where you are? You have to think about, like, what are going to be your deal breakers? What is the very first sign that this is not it? And so I'll give an example. I've said this example before on previous podcasts, but in case you're new, I'm going to say it again because it goes with this. So when I met my husband, on like the third date, we were going to this house party. And so he texts me asking, okay, can I meet you at your home? And we can ride together from your house. And I instantly was like, this is about to be a deal breaker. I do not like men coming to my home. I don't want them asking. I don't want giving any impression that I'm down to have sex with them when I'm not. And so I'm like, this is it. I'm going to have to cut him off because I already know when I set the boundary, he's not going to respect it because he's already asking. This is what I was telling myself. This was my deal breaker, right? And so I sent him a text saying, I'm not comfortable with meeting at my house. I would prefer we go to the party together. And in my head, I'm thinking this is about to be a problem. But it wasn't. He met that expectation, that non-negotiable, with so much grace and so much healthy masculinity. He was like, oh, it's cool. We can just meet at the party then. And when I got to the party, there was no like smart talk in my boundary. There was like no distance put between us. There was no passiveness going on, acting like he was mad at me. It was just like, it was nothing. He respected it. And that right there let me know, okay, maybe he's working with something. And so you have to have your non-negotiables, your boundaries, and you have to be firm with that so that you'll know when's the exit point for you. Like, okay, I see this man can't meet me where I'm at. I'm not explaining myself. I'm not going to get to a point to where I'm feeling like I'm overreacting. I'm going to be gone at the first sign. And you have to have your non-negotiables. So that's why sometimes we fall into the trap of proving our worth because we don't have any boundaries. We don't have any non-negotiables set. And once again, if that's you and you are one of the women that had the type of upbringings that I did, to where your parents didn't really tell you about boys dating. You didn't date till you were like in your 20s. You were shamed for liking boys. You were shamed for wanting to know about sex. Anything like that. If you were shamed in your childhood, in your teenage years, when it came to boys, and you never really got a chance to date, then you might not know any of your non-negotiables. You might not know what boundaries you should have. You might not know what you should and should not stand for. So you're kind of learning through trial and error. I had learned through trial and error that I don't want a man coming to my house. I don't want a man getting the impression that we're going to have sex. I don't want a man that even does sexual innuendos. I don't want any of that, because I know it's going to lead to him just wanting to have sex with me and him not really valuing me. So that was a boundary I had, and he passed it. So know your boundaries and know your non-negotiables. Make that list and stand on it. I don't care how much he loved bombed you. I don't care how much you like certain things about him. If he can't respect you and can't respect your boundaries, and if he crosses those boundaries, and if he doesn't meet your non-negotiables, he does not value you. And it's going to be a fight the whole entire time. It's going to feel like you're losing your mind. It's going to feel like you're overreacting. He's going to make you feel like you're unworthy. Number 3, practice emotional detachment is a form of self-respect. So you don't have to stop loving him or wanting him or liking him even overnight, but you can stop betraying yourself every time you stay longer than your spirit wants you to. I have a really good tip to help you with this. It would be good if you journal your thoughts, your feelings after each interaction with this man. And it's very important that you journal how you feel, not how you would like to feel about him. So journal how each little detail made you feel. What happened on that date? What happened with the interaction? How did you feel? How did he make you feel? And use that as like your guide. Another tip could be to limit your time with people that tell you to just give it time. People that tell you that, oh, relationships are hard like that, or oh, it just takes time. Oh, have some grace with him, give him a chance, and stuff like that. And it's not that they don't mean well. You really have to think about, this is your dating experience. This is what you want for yourself. What someone else may want, or what someone else may not have as a non-negotiable, you do. And so you have to think about, this is going to be the relationship that you're going to be in. This is someone you're dating to get to know for you. And so you have to be the one to determine if it's right or not. Limit the time with people that tell you to just give it time. That's not really good advice. It's more so they should be telling you, what do you feel? How do you feel about this? So if you don't have people telling you that, then it's best to just journal yourself how you're feeling and what's right with your spirit. You have to give your spirit and your intuition more trust. You have to trust in that more, and trust that you know what's right for you. And so do that for yourself. Think about how this man is making you feel. Judge it according to that. And the last one, rewire your belief that love has to be earned. Understand that if you feel like you have to fight or prove, you're not in love, you're in survival mode. And the reason why you may feel like it's love is because that's how love was probably first introduced to you in your upbringing. You may have been conditionally loved and not even realized it, because when we're younger, we feel like that whatever our parents teach us, however they love us, it must be right. It must be true, because we are trusting our parents to know what they're doing. And so however we were first introduced to love, however we were loved, that's how we're going to believe love works. So you have to understand that your parents didn't get that part right. Maybe you didn't have just the worst upbringing. Maybe your parents made you feel like you were only worthy if you performed well in school, if you did what you were told, if you cleaned up the house right, or if you behaved. They only made you feel worthy conditionally like that, instead of making you feel worthy for just existing, just for being who you are, just for being their child. If you never felt worthy or valued any other time, then you're going to feel like that love and worth are things that you have to earn. You're not going to be able to just rest and be loved freely and understand that you deserve that. You're going to feel like that there's some type of metric or hurdle that you have to jump over in order for love to be given to you. So what could be also happening is that you are going for the men that you have to prove yourself to, because you feel that that's how love works. So you're going to go for the man that you have to prove yourself to, that you have to earn love from, because you're going to think that it's all right to do that. That's how love works. But it doesn't have to work that way. And so you have to rewire your brain to know that you deserve to be loved just because of who you are. That you deserve to be loved and that you are worthy just on your own. What helped for me really big here is not going for the type of men my exes were anymore. Maybe I didn't quite understand how real healthy love worked, and I didn't really understand it until I got into a healthy relationship. That's something I'm going to talk more about on Healing Sundays, by the way. Check that out only on my YouTube channel. But for me, it was not going for any man that is not loving me and seeing my worth on his own. Any man that wasn't meeting my boundaries and standards. Any man that didn't meet my non-negotiables. That's what I stopped going for. Even if I didn't fully understand how being loved freely and in a healthy way worked, I knew what I wasn't going for anymore. And so that's all you have to have, at least, to do, is know what you are not going to go for anymore, what you're not settling for, and know that real healthy love can exist and you don't have to work for it. You have to know that there are other types of men out there that won't make you jump through these hoops. Sometimes we also get caught in this belief that that's how all men love, that's how love works, everyone loves the same, so I might as well make it work with this one, even though he's not really meeting my standards, even though he's crossing my boundaries. You have to get out of that scarcity mindset and that belief. So for me, it was just like, no, I'm not tolerating this, that anymore. I'm not tolerating a man not respecting my boundaries. I'm not tolerating a man not meeting my standards. I have non-negotiables now, and I'm going to stand firm in that. And if he can't, oh well. I still have this good life of my own. I can be happy by myself. I can be alone and I'll be all right. Next. That's the kind of attitude that I had. And so you just have to have that attitude. And I feel like once you pass that test, once you finally choose yourself, it's like it breaks the pattern and the cycle. And then it's like the men that are able to love you freely and in a healthy way just start to be presented to you. And it's like it finally breaks you out of that, and then you can have something new. And so essentially you have to stop thinking that that man knows something more about you than you know about yourself. Just because he is not knowing your worth. More than likely that man does see your worth, but because of who he is, he's going to place the value that he is able to afford, basically. So you have to look at it like that. When you switch it around and you understand that men that operate like that have this agenda against women. They have this agenda that they're going to be domineering, that they're going to be controlling, and they're going to place the value on you that they feel you should have instead of valuing you at what you're actually worth. And it's only because he wants to not feel so inadequate. And so if he can get you to bring yourself down to his level and to place your worth in his hands, then he is going to manipulate you and use it to his advantage. He knows your worth, but he knows that he gets full advantage of you by you questioning your worth and not knowing your worth. So don't allow anyone to come along and make you question your worth. When you start to look at yourself differently, even before then, you have to get out. You have to leave that alone. There's no proving anything to them. You're proving something to them that they already know. They've just decided, I can't meet you right there. I can't afford you. So in order for me to not feel so inadequate and ashamed of that, I'm going to bring you down to my level. I'm going to try to control you and your emotions. Don't let that man play those games with you. So when you look at it like that, look at it as like he's playing you. He's playing games. He wants to abuse you. He wants to manipulate you, not love you. And there's no proving yourself to him. There's no changing his mind about you. Once you understand that, oh, you'll stop negotiating your worth. You'll have those non-negotiables laid out, and you'll know at the first sign when it's time to go. Because sometimes at the beginning, a man can be nice, he can be good, and it's usually love bombing. Or he can just flip the script and change. You always have to know, no matter what type of relationship you're in, no matter what man you're with, no matter how long you've been with him, you always have to have your baseline of what you will and will not tolerate. What is a non-negotiable? Your standards still hold true no matter what relationship you're in. And so once you understand that and you have that about you, then you won't ever settle for a man not valuing you again. You won't ever find yourself trying to prove your worth. Always know your worth. Stand on it. Back yourself up. So, I hope that helps for any ladies out there that had difficulty keeping their worth and keeping their value even when they got with a man. Because I know how it can be sometimes that you can know your worth and all that, but then you get caught up because you want the man you want to also know your worth. But unfortunately, it can't work like that. So, and I learned the hard way. And I'm sure some of you listening or watching have probably learned the hard way as well. So, I hope this helps you to date better and to get up the first time it seems like he's not going to value you and that he's playing with you. Get up the first time you notice it. Don't spend time in that, because then you're going to be confused and losing your mind and feel like you're overreacting. And then the more you question yourself and if you're right or wrong, the longer you're going to stay. So the first time, you got to get up and go. He's playing with you. If he dismisses how you feel, if he dismisses your needs, if he dismisses your boundaries, if he's just dismissive of you in any way, shape, or form, and he's not hearing you, he doesn't care, get up and leave. Detach. Okay? Okay. So, that's all I got for this podcast episode. Remember to tune in on my YouTube channel only to hear Healing Sundays. This Sunday is going to be talking about healthy relationship for beginners. So, that's all I got. Check out my books, my coaching, and everything linked in the description in my link tree. That's all I got. Until the next podcast episode, girlfriends. Peace out.